Hello YouTube, we're back with Western Canada's Strongest Man Prep Part 2. We are 9 weeks out at the time of filming this. We got some exciting news last week. Tristan Hoth has dropped out, so that realistically opens up a podium spot for the guys who are in the mix for that. And depending on if anyone else signs up or fills a spot or who signs up, it may open up a spot in the finals. So that's quite exciting. He's at the World's Strongest Man contest starting today, when I'm filming at least. So that's very exciting for him. That gives him a bye to Canada's Strongest Man. He's only, I think, the 4th person in Canadian history from Western Canada to go to the World's Strongest Man. So we're hoping that he gets it into the finals and shows the boys what's up down there. As for my training, it's been going quite well. Had a good week. We did a 5-day split to get some extra yoke work in, which I'll touch on a little bit later. But getting into day 1, we had our log clean and press, 255 for 5 sets of 3, just the one clean, staying on that trend. We then worked up to a 3RM on the Z press. If you remember last week, I got stabled by 205. We took 205 again, moved much cleaner this week. So that was good news, but it is still probably a true 3RM. Moving on to day 2, we had some safety squat bar squats. We did 5 sets of 3 at 535. So getting quite, 555. So getting quite heavy there. Still moving very well. They feel worse than they look, but I think that's just the general fatigue. Moved into some deadlifts there. Speed deads this week, just working with 500 pounds-ish. A couple sets of 2, really just trying to focus on that starting position, get used to that. Get used to moving quick off the floor and just really being explosive. It's not always been my strength. I tend to be more smooth puller. So just really trying to build that off the floor speed and complement the deficits I've been working in. We then worked on a couple of the Zercher picks. Again, still working in that 550. We worked up to 575 this week, keeping it low, trying to train it lower than it will have to be. Really still unclear on how the height's going to be set at Westerns. And then on the last pick, just working into a start. I'm confident that the yoke training is going to cover the movement aspect of it, so we're not doing too many full runs of this. We'll mix in a couple of event days closer to the competition, but for right now, this seems to be doing what it needs to do. We then did a little bit of yoke with that same 575, just trying to get the technique down. Mixed opinions on how often to hit this, but I think that for the purposes of never having touched this, I'm probably going to try to hit it twice a week. Thinking something like a speed, full, heavy, and just do it on a 2-week rotation, doing 3 days for foot speed and then 1 day of some closer to comp weight numbers. Kind of talking to coach about that, and we're going to get maybe some second opinions, get some consulting, and see what we think about that aspect. Moving on to day 3 has been our heaviest log session of the prep so far. We did 2 sets of 3 at what was supposed to be 275. Admittedly, I was in a rush and I threw on 285. Still moved good, so I'm not too mad about that. Then we jumped up to 3 sets of 2 at 295. First couple sets, I reverted into what I was originally taught, which is to drop step out into a wider stance. I have since found that I don't love that. I prefer to keep the stance narrower. Something that I picked up from Gord Grimmelson and Tom Winning Strength on Instagram. So I think that's been really beneficial in the power production, just helping me to get my legs underneath me and really drive into that press. My buddy Tom, who is the owner of my home gym, Iron Image, we went over to Gord's place to throw around the circus dumbbell in preparation for a local show that we're doing in about 3 weeks now, I think Tolstoy is. Maybe 3 or 4 weeks out. Just worked up to a little bit above comp weight for a set of 3. Nothing too crazy, just trying to get the reps in, really start to dial in the technique on this one. treating it like an accessory to the log, just training it once a week. So I figure that leg drive is leg drive and pressing is pressing, so it's going to carry over a little bit and help me with that coordination and balance. Day 4 is the day that I was most excited for, a little bit unexpected, but I got to work up to a 1RM on the deficit pull. So we worked up to 730 pounds, which is an all-time PR on a regular bar from the ground, never mind from a deficit. I have pulled 735 on an axle, but that was figure eights strapped in, and it was coming off of a very good taper and kind of riding that peak a little bit. So I don't really count that as a true training number. That was more of a peaked number. We did try to jump up to 750, just couldn't get it past the knees. I'm pretty confident, again, that from the floor, that's there, no problem all day long. And then finally, on Saturday, Gordon and I went and made the trip down to Training Grounds Gym. Devin is, from my understanding, the best yoke walker in Manitoba history, so figure who better to get some tips from. Met his beautiful Newfie, so that distracted me for quite a while because I love the dogs. We worked up in weight, did some technique work, and then started climbing once the technique was kind of dialed in. Took a good cruise with 820, and at that point Devin kind of went, well, I guess you're walking 900 today. So we took comp weight for a ride. I did revert to some of my old powerlifting bracing habits and let my chest get down, which is where I dropped it about halfway, but did pick and recover and completed the rest of the walk very comfortably. So probably touch comp weight maybe another 2 or 3 times before the actual show. It didn't burn me out too much. Went for a massage pretty much immediately after, and my massage therapist, Laura, beat the crap out of me for about 2 hours straight, and then had a little spa day at Therme on Sunday, which a lot of sauna, a lot of cold plunge cycles, and then just a lot of relaxation and good food with some good friends. So went into week 3 of prep feeling very well recovered, but obviously I don't want to push that too hard. Again, same thing. Body weight's still trending up, sitting at about 325 pounds. Very comfortable, still able to move very well, so I'm not too worried about that causing me any problems. Relatively uneventful week, other than hitting comp weight on the yoke and the deadlift PR, so maybe it was an eventful week. Overall, a very productive week, and feeling good, and about halfway into week 3 of prep here, so I'm going to try to get better recording these on Sunday. I need to just stop booking them up. But overall, feeling good, so tune in next week. Like, comment, subscribe, whatever the influencers say.